You watched the whole spin? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Divine Zaster, and today I've got a special vid, man. Honestly, for these last couple of days, I've been pretty sick, and it wasn't until only yesterday that I kind of was hit with like a wave of kind of just like enlightenment onto my body. Something very bad happened yesterday to me. It kind of sounds like it's a little weird, but it's like it felt like I almost died yesterday. You guys can help me if you donate to my website, Divinity.com. Did I say Divine Zaster when I did the intro? Man, do I have to restart? It's not happening. Y'all ain't getting this, bro. I told you I'm giving you my heart. You weaved it last time. So, as you can tell, I'm sick. So yesterday, I had no intention of making the video for a couple of these days. I'll make a welcome to my channel video, and then I'll just kind of be like, yeah, let's kind of step back. And I'll think that it's going to work, but I realize that everybody who gets any sort of attention is because they make consistent videos, and what a blow-up video does is it kind of introduces people to more of the videos. And I, for some reason, don't have the motivation, but I realized that doing something when you don't have motivation is the best time to do something, because at that time you can show yourself. I don't need only motivation to drive me. That's not what drives me. It's the sense of progression and the result that drives me. And a lot of people look at something and they're like, yeah, I want the result. But they don't actually look at all the progress that goes into it to actually get to that result. Couldn't sleep. I was just sitting up and I was crying. I was talking to God, and I was just so thankful for everything He has given me so far. In the future, He's bound to do more things, but I'm just grateful to be alive. They take it for granted. And people wake up, they don't realize that they've woke up while many other people haven't. By the time it's nighttime, they don't realize that some people didn't even survive the day. So they should be grateful to see the morning and see the afternoon. The Bible talks about how you should glorify God in all activities. And I do that to try to put myself in a position to get to know God better. You can strengthen your relationship by glorifying God in everyday activity. Every time I fall from God, I swear He has like a canon event that brings me right back to Him. Every single time. And I swear, it will always change my perception, but not like this time, because this is probably the closest I've ever been to death. It's not gonna be as serious as you guys think, because you guys didn't go through it, but it was one of the most fearful situations I've ever been through. Now, I've got a question. Do you fear death? If your answer was no, then you're a liar, because there's not a single person on this planet that doesn't fear death. There's not a single person that goes into death accepting it fully. Not even if your religion tells you to accept it fully. I don't care what you say. It doesn't change fact to fiction. I realize that everybody realizes that there's innate value to living. And the Bible talks about how death is the last enemy. For me, I realized today, when I was getting close to death, that everything in me was screaming, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. But the first thing I did when I got up and I felt close to death is I went into the bathroom, I looked in the mirror, and I prayed. Closed my eyes and I prayed. I prayed to God, and I realized that I had comfort. I had comfort within myself and within God to know that He would take care of me, that He would be responsible for what would happen to me. Either way He decided that I live or die, He would make the right decision because He was righteous. He would make the right decision, the right call. And I realized that. So I put all my faith into God. Despite the fear, I was courageous enough to pray to God, because the last thing I want on my deathbed is to have regrets. Second thing I don't want to happen, I'm fearful of, is going into heaven and God showing me a list of all the things I could be. I don't want to be a person who didn't do everything I set out to do because I wasn't the best version of myself, or I didn't feel in tune with God or a connection with God. And I realized that, I'm beating around the bush now, but it's just to emphasize where I was at as I felt as though I was dying. There's these mucinex pills, right? And as you can tell, I'm all stuffed up and whatnot. My aunt had told me that she takes 2. Now, she has a higher tolerance than me. She's a different weight than me. She's bigger than me. All these different things. I mean, I may be taller than her in some regard, but she's naturally like wider than me, as most older women are. She would take 2 pills, and these pills, mind you, were about like these big, bro. Like I had to. I was shoving them down my throat. I asked her right after this. I feel like this was some foreshadowing, bro. It brought me all the way back to English when I realized this. Without reading the label, I took 2 pills in succession. The rest of my day went on by itself. Started feeling a bit sleepy, and I woke up. And as soon as I woke up, I was, bro, it felt like somebody hit me over the head with a frying pan. I felt like trash. When I looked to the left and to the right and I moved my head, everything felt like it was dragged. Like if my eyes turned here, it felt like it was my eyes were still over here, dragging to over here. Like somebody took a bat and broke my brainstem. It was so wobbly, I couldn't even see straight. I told my grandma, I sat down, I called the emergency. They came down, was checking up on me, and the entire time I didn't complain, because I feel as though complaining only makes situations worse. If I made a mistake, that God would do whatever he could that's in his power to keep me alive, keep me going. I prayed every single second that was in there. Every single second I wasn't talking to somebody, I was talking to God. And it felt as though God was right there with me, right into my heart, telling me every single thing I need to do in order to get through it. And it felt as though I was so comforted by God. Everything that came to me felt like I was impenetrable. It felt like God put up a shield around me, and all these doubts, all this fear, all of this destruction, all of these feelings and emotions that I was having at the moment were coming at me, and they were all being deflected by the shield God put up. Puts us in positions to kind of come to realization. What at the moment you could believe a situation is one of the worst things that ever happened to you in your life, as you grow older and you look back on the situation, you can view that situation as a gift. The time that is given to you, it feels like a detriment, but shows that it was one of the most important values that was ever taught you in your life. Though this might have been the closest I've ever been to death, I've ever felt to dying, one of the most head-turning experiences of my entire life. I've never felt more clear-minded, never talked better in my life, never felt closer to God than I did now. And it was probably because I was right on the doorstep to heaven. My sister told me, she was like, if you overdosed, you wouldn't have woke up. And I was like, well, what happens if I go back to sleep? Felt as though everything around me was a gift from God. Went up to the basketball court. I had a good talk with a kid. New video coming. It's about to come out. Had some, scrimmages with some people I knew. I won, of course. I got through the kid. The kid respected what I had to say. All these different things I felt like were event after event after event, leading up to a picture of what my life was supposed to be. People think that if they change one bit of their life, that God will be acceptant of the rest of their life, but they don't realize that if they change that one thing, will God be appreciative of your life? Things that you still do. You still participate in certain sins. Even though you remove that big sin, it doesn't discount all the little sins that you may have. I came home. I don't know what it was, but I felt overwhelming kindness in me. The thing I did was out of respect for others and out of respect for myself. Whether it was, doing the laundry for my family, helping them out with the food, with the trash, taking care of my animals, loving them like I never loved them before, appreciating them like I never appreciated them before. All these different things, I just feel like God was showing me what my life should be like. Every single step of the way, God was trying to show me, this is what your life needs to be like. And before I was slacking off, before I would take life for granted, before I wouldn't treat my animals with respect, I would kind of look at them and just be like, oh, they're just animals. I wouldn't always help around the house. I wouldn't always clean my own dishes when I put them, in the dishwasher or whatever. It just felt like God was literally telling me to my face, this is who you're supposed to be. You almost died today, and now you're going to take that for granted too. This is who you were, but this is who you could be. Why do you want to go back to that point? Why do you want to live on the level of dust and dirt and sin and evil? And I said to God, God, I said, my strength is your strength. My love is your love. My existence is in your hands, and I put my existence into God's hands. God often says in the Bible, turn from your understanding and onto his, because you do not know everything. God is the wisest being in all of reality. So why put your faith in a mind that's feasible and manipulatable and broken and evil and sinful, when you can put your trust in someone who's righteous, who's good, who's loving, compassionate, careful, and justice? If this ends here, God made that decision. If I wake up, I'll be the most grateful I've ever been, ever. I went to sleep, only slept for 2 hours, and I woke up. First thing I did was, I thought, did I only sleep for like 20 minutes? Because when you don't sleep for more than like 4 hours, trust me, you don't feel it. It doesn't feel like anything happened. It feels like you closed your eyes and opened your eyes. That's what it feels like. I sit down and I'm getting ready to go back to sleep, thinking inside my head everything that I've wanted to think and say to God. I'm saying it right now. And it's like I've never been so fluent in my life with my speech.
Stop the cap.
With my speak. With my speech. I've never been so fluent, and it's like it's going in my head. It's like a jet engine. Different types of words. Words it's like in my deep lexicon that I don't have, that are just popping out, just coming out of nowhere. And I'm laying down and I'm crying, man. I'm crying once again. I'm tearing up. I'm tearing down. But I felt as though this was just so important. I must talk about it. I have to. I feel like this is the type of content I'm gonna be putting on my YouTube channel, whether it's just some funny stuff within it. I feel like there's a time to laugh and giggle, time and place to be serious. You can take from that what you will. But, oh shoot, guys, it disappeared again. All right, if you could take anything from this video, it's to not take life for granted. Don't take every single individual thing in front of you for granted. I know not everybody remembers to glorify God in all his glory every single day and every single thing. And I understand. God says do everything in the glory of God. Obviously, when you get something great, do it in the glory of God. Pray before you go. There was I think his name was Evander Fieldland, the boxer that knocked out Mike Tyson. He said before a match he would pray, during the match he would pray, and after match he would pray. That was all signifying glory to God. He wasn't doing that so he could go out there and go beat up the person. He was doing that to glorify God, to get closer to God. Now you don't have to beat up somebody to get to God, but God gave him a gift of strength and nimbleness and dexterity. Oh my gosh, that sent me back to the Stone Age, man. Be grateful that you can live. Be grateful that when you wake up in the morning, that you woke up. Because you might have never seen your family again. You might have never got the chance. If there's anything from the Bible that you should know, most importantly, tomorrow is not promised. Every single day, you're living as though it could be your last. If you want to wait to do something tomorrow, there is no tomorrow, as though Apollo Creed said in Rocky 2, I believe, Rocky 3, you have to do something today. You have to realize it to be grateful for today. Today could be your last day, and you should be grateful for the morning you see and the night that you get to be able to get to. And I have found that peace within God. I thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, please make sure to like the video, man. Please help me out. The algorithm, please, I need the algorithm. Subscribe to see more videos like this. Now I've realized I'm not gonna take YouTube for granted, man. This could be something. I really do believe this could be something. Now, it doesn't really matter how many people watch this video. It doesn't change the fact that even if it's one person to watch this video, that I've helped at least one person out. If you're willing to watch the entire, I don't know what's this ending, because it's telling me it's still recording, maybe 16-minute video. I appreciate that, man. Make sure to subscribe, because for some reason you decide to watch all the way through, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you are here to watch my progress, that I'm here to be a light maybe in the darkness that you may have. And, I realized in my last video, I said I kind of want to be a preacher and all these different things. I realized that I can be an entertainer and a shine a beacon in the darkness just as much as I can be anything else. I don't have to just be limited to one thing. I'm experimenting with this channel. Everything in this channel is experimental, and I know I don't have the money in order to set up everything I want to just yet, but I realize that everything I have on here is great and become great. Once again, I thank you guys for watching. May God bless, and see you soon. But definitely just know that I'm grateful.